we've been doing a little test to see which paint is the best when you're coming to paint your home, and some of the things to look out for. A lot of DIYers don't realise the importance of picking the right interior paint and some of the problems that you can get. So we're just going to have a real quick run through a few of the issues, and this is the first one. If I put this tape on here, okay, and pull this off, look what happens. I hope you can see that, but that is where using the wrong paint over an oil-based paint will give you a problem. Now, the majority of paints out there now, including what you call for glossing, although most people use satin, are now water-based, whereas, let's say 10 years ago, everything was oil-based. And the problem of using a water-based paint over an oil-based is that there. Exactly what you've just seen, and there are a number of ways to get around it, and I've been doing a test with this just to cover off a few of the options. The first one is to use, and this is what I've been doing until recently, use a specific primer. So you'll use that first, and then you'll go over it with your normal water-based gloss, for instance. But there are other ways and other paints out there that could help you. The first one is you can use something like this. Now, I'm sure a lot of DIYers haven't heard of this, but it's getting very popular in the decorating trade. Bedeck multi-surface paint. We've put that on this side, and if I rub that on there and pull that off, you'll see, ignore the top bit, there is nothing on there. Now that will cover anything, if you see that there. So if you're unsure what to do, then that's a good paint to go for. The only caveat I would say with that is, me personally, I've not used that on any doors, and I don't know how it would cover on doors. That's another test for another time, and that's something I'm going to do very shortly. But for skirting boards and all your other woodwork, then that is a great paint to go for. The other advantage of that is, as a decorator, when you come to do some woodwork in a home, some of the drying times on some of the water-based paints are 4, even up to 6 hours. So if you've got to put 2 coats of paint on in a house, 4 hours drying time, your day is gone by just doing a couple of times around the woodwork. So that is a big problem. Where the Bedeck, you're talking an hour and a half, and you're ready to put your second coat on there, which is a big advantage. The other paint that we've got here for test, Johnson's AquaGuard. Now, again, in the paint and decorating trade, that's got a fantastic name, and it just keeps getting better and better. And if I test that on here, again, nothing. And if you were looking for a good quality finish, the AquaGuard is a really durable, hard-wearing gloss, we'll say, but it's a satin finish. That is a good choice. Another thing is as well, it comes and it gives a really nice finish. It goes on really well. I would say that is probably one of the best overall wood paints on the market. Its downside, I would say, it's slightly longer to dry than the Bedeck. Maybe you might be talking 2, 3, 4 hours. I don't think it's as bad as some of the other water-based paints. But again, it's still relatively quick. But the big advantage, what we're looking and talking about here, is that if you're unsure of what paint you're going over, maybe you're in a house that's even 7, 8 years old, I've been into, the woodwork has been oil-based, and if you put a standard paint over the oil base, you see the problem that you get. So if you've got any doubt whatsoever, or maybe you just want one of the best performing paints on the market, really, it covers everything now. Johnson's AquaGuard. Don't get me wrong, you're going to pay for it. But if you're doing a house, you could be doing a house almost top to bottom. I've done a 5-bedroom house. I've done every door in the house on one side. I've done all of the skirting board, and I used 2.5 litres of paint, and that was spraying. If you were brushing, you'd probably use 1.5 litres, and that's on a big house. So a tin like this, if you're doing a couple of rooms, a tin like that is all you need, and that's probably about, I don't know, I'm guessing about £40 in the region, somewhere like that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, for what you'll get back, put that on once and you'll be fine for 5 years plus, whereas the other paints you're going to struggle with. And I just thought it would be interesting for you to see the problems that you get with picking the wrong paint. If you've got the wrong paint over oil-based and you're knocking it with your Hoover, or you stick something to it, you're going to have problems. So be careful, and if you're in doubt, Johnson's AquaGuard or the Bedek multi-surface is definitely something that you want to consider.